Hello. Welcome to the Skeins of Dreams Knitting Podcast. I'm Megha. I'm also known as Skeins of Dreams on Instagram and on Ravelry. Thank you so much for checking out my video. If you're a new and if you're a returning viewer, welcome. This is definitely my last video of 2023. I can't believe the year is almost up. I've been busy. December has been busy as everyone else, just wrapping up work and all of that. So I do have some finished objects, a couple of works in progress to share with you, and so many 2024 plans. I guess this is the time of the year when everybody starts thinking about what the next year of crafting is going to look like. And I'm here to talk all about that. So hopefully you have some sort of crafting with you, and maybe a beverage of choice. I'm only drinking water today. I have lost completely the track of days. I'm off between New Year's and Christmas, so this week is off and I've been just lazying, watching a lot of movies and knitting, of course. We were invited over to our neighbor's place for Christmas and that was wonderful. We had a lovely dinner and spent a lot of time with them. We also watched a football match here, a football game, I guess. I'm still not very well versed with the American sports lingo, so we watched a game on Christmas Day, but yeah, it was wonderful. A lot of my knitting in December had been gift knitting to gift to my neighbors who had invited us over. So I knit 2 kids and 1 adult classic ribbed beanies by Purl Soho. Unfortunately, I have not taken any pictures of the gift knits, and that's usually how it goes with me. I like to handle the gift knits very minimally once I block them, and then I just don't have any motivation to take pictures. I just want to get them wrapped and ready to be gifted. I don't like them touched too much. I usually will transfer cat hair. It's pretty much I'm made of cat hair anyway, so I don't I don't like to handle them a lot, and so I didn't take a lot of pictures. And then I was but I won't have anything to show over the podcast, but it's okay. You all know what a classic ribbed hat looks like. I showed you a work in progress hat and one finished, I think, last episode. So yeah, I just made 3 of those, 1 for our friend and 2 for the boys. And then for my friend who's the mom, I made a Sophie shawl. And you did not see that shawl. I started it a week before Christmas. I finished it in a week, and it was beautiful. I took 1 picture of it, not a very good picture, but I took 1 picture, so I'm going to put it on the screen here. But this is the color I used for it. This is Cascade 220 Superwash in Winter White. It was a fun knit, I would say, and I really feel like it's one of the best scarves I've made, and it was not tedious, right? Because you start from a point, increase, and then back at a point. So it was actually very nice to knit on, and I kind of feel like I should make one for myself. But I gifted everything, they loved everything fit everyone well, so that's all done. And that's all you're gonna hear or see from me, because I did not take pictures of my FOs. They're done and they're gifted, and that's all I have to say about it. So hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. I have been knitting away all of December pretty much. I wanted to get a sweater finished for Baljeet for Christmas. Not that we celebrate Christmas, but I just wanted him to have a new sweater anyways, and I gave myself the deadline of Christmas and I got it done. I finished Baljeet's Dornie Sweater. It is beautiful. I am so happy with this. This is just Like, it has worked out so well. It looks so nice on him. I'm gonna put a picture of him wearing it. I took one for Instagram, so there's a nice picture of him in the sweater. So this is the Dornie Sweater, designed by Rebecca Clow, who is the Crea Bea, and I knit this in Direrum Natura Gilead, in the Cypress color. It is a beautiful bluish green. I did the whole folded collar thing. I had to make the sleeves a bit longer. I think I talked about this a bit in my last episode, that the two sizes Rebecca has are 42 inches and 46 inches. And I kind of needed a size in between. So I cast on for the 42 inch, increased the number of raglan increases. I had to kind of adjust the pattern on this under the sleeves because I cast on extra stitches under the sleeves. I basically did my own thing. I looked at the pattern and roughly followed it and tried to adjust the pattern within the within what Rebecca had suggested, but because I had extra stitches, I may have had to do extra purl repeats, or like the ribbing repeats that Rebecca has you do under the sleeve. But under the sleeves, I had to add a rib repeat just to make space for the extra stitches I had on the side, but it all follows the pattern, so you can't even tell basically. It worked out really well. I did the folded collar, and I actually put that's not a good look. I actually put like an elastic inside the folded rib. I've never done that before. I took like is it a half inch? Maybe a half-inch elastic band. I inserted it through the folded collar, and then I actually sewed down the elastic band on my sewing machine. So I joined the two ends and just stuffed it in. So it's really, really nice, and I'm sure that it won't go anywhere because the elastic will hold the shape of the collar. So yeah, so the Dornie sweater is done, and I am so pleased with it. And as usual, I put a little tag that has my initials, and if you turn it around, actually it says, oh, the other way around. I use these faux leather tags, and this says Skeins of Dreams on this end. I don't know if you can see that, but it says MJ on the front, and I attach these tags on everything I make, and especially if I gift it. Baljit especially likes the tags on his sweater, so he doesn't have to think which one's the front and the back. I usually put the tags so it's like left front of the sweater, so he just knows that that's the front. But yeah, that's the Dornie, and actually I think I finished this, being a cable sweater and all. I think I cast it on like November 29th or something, and I finished it December 21st. December 22nd, something like that. And I basically did it within a month, less than a month. And I'm so pleased about it, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Baljit really likes the sweater. It fits him really well. So yeah, that was a success. So those are basically my only finished objects. This sweater and the gift knits I already gifted to our neighbors. After I finished this, which was only before Christmas, I went back and picked up my sweater that I was knitting for myself and that I hadn't finished, and I put it aside. So basically I'm now working on my Anker sweater. I finished the body, I finished the sleeve, and I'm working on sleeve 2. In all honesty, I can get this done today. I'm recording at noon on a Thursday. So I should be able to finish it by this evening if all I do is watch TV, movies or something. But I sometimes stop working on it just to give my hands a break. But I am very, very close to finishing a sweater for me. So basically, I'm trying to get this in so I can say I finished it in 2023. And then first video next year will be my wrap up of the entire year. I've been doing wrap-up videos. This will be my third all my knits from 2020, like from the year video, and I really enjoy doing them because I can actually put them on after they've been knit and everything, and they've been worn, and you can see how it looks at the end of the year. So I really like doing that, but I usually do that like the first week of January. So I'm hoping I'll record that video while I'm still on break, because I go back to work on the 4th of January. For whatever reason, my office has a closure on the 2nd and 3rd of January as well. Though it's not that, they just give us the days we have to take paid time off for it. So that's stupid, but whatever. I'm not saying no to 2 days of no work. So I'm probably going to record a video of recapping everything I've made in 2023. And then I can actually add this to my list of garments finished. I'm really happy with how this is looking. I never even mentioned, and I know most of you who've watched my previous episodes know this already. This is the Anker sweater by Petite Knit. No, I mean, it's super popular. Everyone knows about it. And the yarn is organic wool linen blend from Camilla, who has the Cami Jo yarn and the Cami Jo knit podcast. I loved watching all of Camilla's Vlogmas episodes this month. I was very good with keeping up with Vlogmas episodes for the first half of December, and in the second half, I just had a grumpy 2 weeks. Like, I was grumpy, not that the weeks were grumpy, but I was very grumpy, and I didn't want to watch anything. I didn't want to do anything. So I didn't keep up with the Vlogmas episodes in the second half of the month, but I watched mostly all of them. The only Vlogmas I actually watched start to finish was by my friend Anina, who has the Annie UT Knits podcast, and Anina's Vlogmas was so good. It was just like hanging out with her all of the month, and it really brought me so much joy. I finished all of her episodes. Thanks, Anina, for keeping me company during December. It was so much fun. I often wonder if I would ever think of doing something like Vlogmas. I don't know how people keep their house clean the whole month. And then, I mean, I don't really celebrate Christmas, so I wouldn't be doing any Christmassy stuff. There won't be any decorations or all of that. This year I didn't even purchase an yarn advent, so I mean, I wouldn't have a lot of like Christmas content, but I'm thinking maybe one of these months, maybe next year sometime, I should do something like a craftober or something like that, you know, just show my crafting maybe for the month. Not like every day. Daily episodes would be insane. I wouldn't be able to keep up with that. So all of you who did Vlogmas, like all of the podcasters who did Vlogmas, like hats off to you. Like, I don't know how you all ended up doing that, or you do it for years and everything, but it keeps those of us who just want to watch very happy, I'm sure. But yeah, so that is my Anker sweater. It's almost done. I did a fit check. It fits really well. Anker's is one of those circular yokes, and it also has raglan increases at the end of the yoke. So the circular yoke was till the end of this ribbing section, and then these are the raglan increases. I did modify. I cast on a size smaller than I would need for my full bust, and then I increased the raglan increases than what was given in the pattern. So if I'm not test knitting, I usually just like go off the handles and do whatever I feel like to make the sweater fit me. It has been working for me so far. There are only very few sweaters which I knit at the beginning of my knitting journey that actually don't fit the way I'd like them to. So I feel like I have knit enough sweaters to know what I like, and I have been doing that since I figured it out. I'm still learning. I mean, I still, things I want to change or do differently next time. There are always going to be more sweaters. So I don't think that sentence made grammatical accuracy, but it's okay. But yeah, I think that's everything I had to say about my Ankers. You can see it'll be done like today or tomorrow. So that's that. That's can I call it an almost finished object? Not sure, but yep, that is a work in progress. I am so proud of myself for picking that up again after I finished all the gift knitting in December and not casting on something impulsively. I have been a little hesitant with new cast-ons, honestly. I've just been a little overwhelmed with all my unfinished objects, so I really want to do the frog it or finish it kind of a thing. Not that I want to make a video about it, I just want to practice, that is what I'm saying. And Oreo is doing something he's not supposed to be doing. Hold on. Okay, cat has been disciplined. My next work in progress is an oldie. I had this year I did not buy a yarn advent, but I had a yarn advent last year and I had started an advent project and I actually never finished it, which is typical of me. That's nothing new. But what I decided was that I need to pick this project up again because I'm seeing people knit it again and I'm remembering how much I liked my own whip. This is the Anthology Throw by Helen Stewart. I had the yarn advent last year from the Fiber Fox, like beautiful colors, and it almost like a rainbow feel. Like now I'm going into the blues and I believe there's also going to be greens and such. What I ended up doing is winding colors on top of each other so they stay in order. So I'm doing this lighter blue and it'll become that darker shade, and then there's more skeins that I haven't wound up yet. I think Helen Stewart's patterns are really nice, especially the shawl ones. She gives you how much percentage complete they are and which row you're on. So I'm on row like 170 or something, and there's like 200 something rows. So I'm on row 180 and the total number of rows are 212. So I have about 32 more rows, but they will be very long. And yeah, I'm about 65% complete or something, so there's quite a bit more to do, but I'm so happy I've picked it back again because I really want to see it done. This was a non-superwash base, so this is going to be so beautiful, woolly, and so lovely. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it as a shawl or if I want to use it as a throw. I do not want any felines near my Anthology Throw because it's going to be so beautiful and so delicate and so lovely. So yeah, I had done this purple and then I did that much over the last week or so. So it's going slowly now, but as I said, I only have the last 30% to do. But I'm so pleased that I have picked up an old whip. This actually, I didn't mention this in my blanket recap video, but this is one of the things that was like on top of my list because I have done so much of it, so it just made sense to finish this before I start something new. Actually, I have another work in progress that I completely forgot about. I cast this on a couple weeks ago when some of my podcaster friends were casting on the Artus Shawl by Natasha Hornby. So I decided to join in all the cast on fun, and we had a Zoom call over which we cast on this beautiful pattern. So I'm going to put a picture up of the Artus Shawl, and these are my colors basically. The oatmeal is going to be the main color, and I'm going to do a combination of these three beautiful jewel tones for the shawl. Honestly, I haven't done all that much on it, just a tiny bit cast on, but that's about all that I have done so far. It's just the waffle stitch has been established, and I've started knitting on it. So once I finish the sweater, I'm gonna start putting in some effort into this. I won't do it like, it won't be my exclusive knit, but like I want to do a few rows every day or something like that to actually see it through, because I really like the shawl. Like I really want it, and it looks so geometric, and the colors are so saturated and beautiful in the picture, in the sample images and everything. I really like the shawl. So I completely forgot that I cast this on. So I'm gonna go back to this once I finish my Anker sweater. The yarn is Blackberry Ridge Woolen Mill. It's their fingering weight yarn. So this is oatmeal. I think this is called burgundy. This is golden oak. And this color is fairway green. I really love these. These colors are so pretty. I'm looking forward to seeing these colors together. I had to pause the video and actually show you this cast on because I completely forgot that I had cast this on. So typical. Okay, moving on. So let's talk about my plans for 2024. So 2023 was the year of color for me. I had decided at the beginning of the year that I wanted to knit more colors because I felt that the previous years I had majorly knit like pinks and mustards, and I really wanted to branch out and have sweaters in other colors as well. So I feel like I did that quite a bit, and I'm very happy with everything I've made in 2023. 2024, I want to work with designers or work with patterns from designers that I have not really knit from, and they've been on my list for such a long time, some of them, and I've just not gotten around to knitting from them, and I really want to focus on the designers in 2024. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull this off, but dare to dream, right? So so what I ended up doing, and if you watch my previous episodes, there goes my list of designers. So I have been making lists like never before. So I made a list of 15 or 16 designers that I really want to knit from, and one of them actually is Natasha Hornby, which works out perfectly because that's basically why I cast on the Artus Shawl. The rule is that I can knit anything from them, not just a sweater, but most of the things I like from these designers are sweaters because that's what I end up knitting. So I want to try the designer. Maybe I'll change my mind and knit something smaller, because if I end up knitting sweaters from all of these designers, these are like intense sweaters. Like, these are not your plain and simple raglan. So I don't think I'll be able to knit 16 intense sweaters next year. So we'll see what happens. But dreaming is free, right? So okay, let's get on with the list. So the first name on my list is Irene Lin. I really love Irene Lin's design aesthetic. She makes very beautiful garments. I especially like the Rhoda sleeveless top and the Ramble jumper. These two have been on my list for a really long time, and I hope I can at least get one of them done next year. I mean, everything Irene Lin releases is just on top of my knitting list always, and basically she was the first name I could think of when I started making this list. So that's one. The second one on my list is Beth McDonaldstone. I met Beth during Woolen Folk and Rhinebeck and at Pick Up Every Stitch in October, and she is such a sweet person. I really enjoy watching her videos. She has a podcast, and I saw some of her sweaters in person when she was wearing them during the festival, and they look so good. They're so flattering. They fit her so well. I know she does this fitted shoulder but kind of A-line shapes, and I really want to try one of her sweaters. I especially like the Starry Night, and I know Leslie Friend made one recently, and I watched her latest episode, and that sweater looks so spectacular on Leslie. And I really like Leslie took the more convention, like, you know, the more neutral colors. She did like a gray and oatmeal or something like that, but even that just looks so good. So I really want to knit one of Beth's sweaters next year. I know she has a couple that I'm really interested in. She showed, and I'm so terrible with the names, but maybe I'll put pictures of them. One of them is, I think, 1x1 color work, and the other one that I really like is a textured sweater. Basically, that's the one I saw Beth wearing during Pick Up Every Stitch. I should have made a note of the names of the sweaters, but I really wanted to highlight Starry Starry Night anyway. If I start talking about every single design from all of these designers, this is going to be a very, very long video. So I wrote down at least one design from each of the designers that I can focus on. But they have so many. Like, I really want to try their design styles, and even just, you know, everybody has a different construction and all of that. So I kind of want to challenge myself to go out of my comfort zone and try different designers this next year. Okay, my next number 3 on my list, and this numbering system is by no means like a ranking system. I just, how they came into my head, I put them on my phone. Actually, I just, like, every time I thought, I was like, oh, I didn't add them to my list, and I went to my phone and I just kept adding them. So that's how I have them listed. Number 3 on my list is the Unwind Knitter on Instagram, Rachel. Rachel has the most exquisite, beautiful colorwork sweaters. She has very, very beautiful designs. And the one that particularly interested me is the Kismet sweater. It's like a colorwork, but raglan. And I really, really want to try a raglan colorwork next year. And I feel like the Kismet sweater would be so beautiful. I know Wool and Wine made the Kismet, I think. And I really liked her color choices. And Kristen, sorry. I really liked Kristen's color choices. Number 4 on my list is Gudrun Johnston. I have the Shetland Trader book by Gudrun Johnston, and I have been really looking forward to casting on something from it, but I have not done that yet. I really like the Wear sweater and so many other. There's a vest, there's a colorwork vest in it. There are different versions of the Wear, like you can do just the colorwork, or you can do, like, the sleeves could be different, and you could skip the chevron striping and just do the colorwork. Like, there's so many permutations, combinations from the Wear and other sweaters from that book. I really like that book, and I kind of want to knit from it. The next on my list is Mary Jane Mucklestone. I saw this particular vest by Mary Jane, which is the Woe vest, and I just love it so much. I don't know what it is about it, but of all the Fair Isle vests I've seen, I like this the most. And maybe it's her color choices, because some of the Fair Isle sweaters, kind of the colors blend in because of the low high contrast they try. But the Woe vest, the sample piece, is like saturated solid colors, which is usually my thing. I love solids, and I just like the color play within solids. So I really enjoy the contrast in the Woe vest, and I have been struggling to find my own color combination that I want to knit that vest in, and not struggling per se, but like indecisiveness, I guess. But it has been on top of my list for a while now. The next on my list is Jenna Costet, who's the author of Knitted Kalevala. The Knitted Kalevala book has so many beautiful designs. Like, anything from that book and I'll be happy. I'll put pictures of, I'm gonna put pictures of everything, because just to keep all of these straight in my head is going to be difficult. And you know what, in the description box below, you'll actually find a link to a Ravelry bundle that I will create. I haven't created as of yet, but by the time you watch this video, I will have created a Ravelry bundle that shows you all these sweaters that I'm talking about, all these garments or shawls or whatever, and you can check it out there. So yeah, anything from the Knitted Kalevala book I would love to make. There is especially this cardigan with like the colorwork at the bottom that I really like. So I'm hoping now, like I said, all of these sweaters are like heavy, intense sweaters. They're not like going to be simple for the mind. So I don't think I'll be able to do them one after the other, but I would like to. Okay. The next designer on my list is Claudia from Unit Toronto. So Claudia Quintanilla, I think that's her last name. She has very, very beautiful feminine designs. I know Selma has knit a few of those, and I particularly like the Violetta, and I also like the Cathedral. I had seen the Cathedral on Petra from the Knit Inc. podcast, and I also love Anastasia's Cathedral, who has the Free Your Sheep podcast, and I really love those versions. And I saw Petra's in person at Rhinebeck, and it was so beautiful. I feel like everybody was knitting the Cathedral sweater, and I didn't really like get into it as much. But when I saw it on Petra, I was like, this looks really nice. And even Anastasia's version that I saw on her video looked really pretty. So I have some beautiful yarn. Of course, I have some beautiful yarn that would be good for that sweater, and I want to knit it in a mohair and fingering combo like it suggests. Next on my list is Ines Sang. I forget what Ines's handle on Instagram, but I'm going to put it on the screen here. Ines has the most beautiful, lacy, gorgeous shawl patterns one can think of. Like, beautiful. I think it's called Stars in Your Hands or something. Like, there are so many shawls that I love from her. I think the Smilga shawl became very popular recently, but the one that I fell in love with is from the Neons and Neutrals book. It's the Darta blouse, and I actually have that cast on because I was fawning over it when it came out last year, and I cast it on, but I haven't finished it. So one of my ideas is also to finish the anchors and then continue working on the Darta, because it's an easy bottom-up sweater, and then you do the frills with the mohair. And I have my colors figured out. I have it cast on, so it'll be less, I don't have to think too much. I just have to pick up that project and start knitting on it. So the Darta blouse is definitely something I want to finish, and I really love the colors I picked out for it. So I'm gonna try and focus on picking that up after my Anker sweater. I still can't remember Ines's handle on Instagram. Completely forgot. Next on my list is Mayu Kope. I have the Contrasts book by Mayu. She's a Finnish designer. I love a lot of her designs, and I think it was when Nina went to the Jyväskylä festival in Finland. She interviewed Mayu, and she was wearing this Dreamy Road pullover. She knitted in fingering and mohair, and it's like all over lace, and it's so stunning. For some reason that has stuck in my head. Like, watching people actually wear sweaters works for me more than moving around in it, not just the images, but like I've seen them on a video or I've seen them in person, and when they wear that and the way the sweater drapes around them, that really impresses me, and that's what convinces me most of the time. So I really like the Dreamy Road. Is it the Dreamy Road? I'm confusing myself maybe. So there's an all over lace sweater, which I'll put a picture of. And there's also a cabled cardigan that I really like, and I'm going to put a picture of that as well. So I think Jana from the Finnish Knitting Stories is knitting the full version. It's the Long Road cardigan or something like that, and I really love those cables. And I don't want to knit the full cardigan, like the full length one, but there's a shorter one by hip length or whatever. But I want to knit that cable cardigan. Since I bought the book for that, and I have all these books that I have to knit from, and beautiful designers, and I don't know. it's not happening. So I'm hoping this list of mine and this video of mine can be something I can go back to and remind myself how much I like these designers and their designs. Okay, next on my list is Yamagara. I really like the, Irene Lin, Yamagara. They bring that Asian influence into their designs, and I really enjoy those designs. They have, there's just something about them, they're different, and I really am drawn to that aesthetic. Yamagara has a t-shirt that when it came out I completely fell in love with. It's called the Shop House Tee. It's a textured t-shirt and I kind of want to make that. It has been on my list for a while, and Yamagara has a lot of I want to say the designer's name is Bernice. I think so, and she has a lot of beautiful designs that I want to knit from. I'm gonna add them to the Ravelry bundle, but the one that I can think of and the one that I wanted to focus on was the Shop House Tee. Next on my list is Olga Putano. Olga's designs, I mean, I don't have to tell you, so stunning. Her color work is just insanely beautiful and so feminine, and so she uses very bold colors, and I think I'm really drawn to that. Some of my favorites are the Upland sweater. She came out with that recently. It's a 2-color but like all over color work sweater, and she has it in a turquoise and rust, and my dear friend Casey has made me an insane fan of turquoise and rust. Everywhere I see that, I'm like, this is done. I'm in love with this. So I blame you, Casey, for influencing me and making me all about turquoise and rust suddenly. I don't know what's wrong with me. Nothing's wrong with me. It's a beautiful color combination, but I blame Casey for it. So the Upland sweater is what that one was, and then of course the very famous Kwitka poncho. I really like, is it a swancho or a poncho? I can't remember, but it has this beautiful color work motif on the yoke, and it's like a poncho slash swancho. I have to look it up, but I really like how that looks, and I love her bold colors. I mean, there's one with like bright pink and everything, and of course I completely fell for that. So Olga Putano also on my list. And next we have Elizabeth Doherty. Elizabeth Doherty's designs have been around for a really long time. I've been looking at them for a really long time. I mean, I just haven't knit any of them yet. The top on my list are the Dornie Sweater. I have this really bright magenta. I don't know if I have it here. For my birthday in 2023, I had treated myself to this beautiful West Yorkshire Spinner BFL wool and silk, not BFL, it just says 80% wool and silk yarn in this color, and this has been reserved for a donor by Elizabeth Doherty. That's what I want to knit this into. The other sweater I really like by Elizabeth Doherty is the Squam sweater. It came out recently. It has like a textured color work come texture. I don't think it's color work. I think it's mostly texture, but I saw a version of it which had multiple colors, like just striped through the texture, not stripes, but like that alternated colors through the different sections of texture, and it looked really pretty, and I really want to knit that one as well. I have the colors picked out for it. It was some Nash Island yarn that I purchased during Rhinebeck, and I kind of want to knit that. So, but I mean, I love so many of Elizabeth's patterns. It's insane, but let's just focus on a few right now. And then I have Teddy Lutzak on my list. Teddy Lutzak also has very stunning and very unique patterns. I especially like the Purpurea sweater of hers, which is like an all-over cable, and it starts with a circular yoke, and it feels like the sweater is just a continuation of the circular yoke. It looks very stunning. In fact, I was watching Only Murders in the Building, and I'm a fan of all of Selena Gomez's sweaters from that show. And one of her orange sweaters looks very similar to the Purpurea sweater, and I think that's what's convinced me, and I really want to knit that. I'm not gonna knit it in orange, but it was just something that I related to for some reason. The moment I saw the episode with the orange sweater, I was like, wait, I know a design that looks a lot similar to this. And then I went and looked at the design, and of course it was Teddy's pattern, and I was like, okay, I'm sold. I need to knit this. And finally on my list is Thea Coleman. I have knit at least one of Thea Coleman's patterns before, and I have so many of hers in my favorites because I love everything Thea Coleman designs. But the one that I really want to make is the Oban pullover. I have mentioned this at different times during on this podcast. The Oban pullover has been on my list for a really long time. It's an all over cable jumper, and I really like it. I think I've picked out the yarn as well because I've been wanting a green pullover for myself. I realized a few months ago, or whenever, last month, that I did not have a green pullover, which is a shame. So I need to change that, and I think my Oban pullover is going to be a nice shade of green. These were just like the designers that I could think of. Of course, I'm in love with a lot of designers. I have designers that I usually knit from, like Rebecca, Chloe, Jennifer Parosini. I want to knit Hohi's patterns. I have at least one that I can think of, the Elton cardigan, which has the yarn picked out. Everything's done. I just need to knit it. Like, it's been on my list for so long, it's unbelievable. So I'm still gonna knit from designers that I usually knit from, but I thought making this list would be a really nice way to knit from designers, or challenge myself to knit from designers I haven't tried before. And I hope I'm able to successfully, at least, I mean, I made a list of like 15, 16 designers. I mean, who am I kidding? I cannot knit from all of them in 2024, but even if I hit like 50% of them, I would consider myself to be successful. I went through this list really quickly because there were so many and so many different things that I talked about, like, so I didn't want to bore you with like just talking about them for a really long time. Like I said, I'm going to put a link to that Ravelry bundle in the description box below, so do feel free to go check that out. Please leave a comment about what your plans for 2024 are, or which designers would you like me to check out as well, because I'm always looking for new designers to knit from. And I really like, I spend hours on Ravelry, so but I'm still sure I don't know not even half, I don't know what percentage of designers that I'm actually exposed to. Maybe they're the ones that are popular on Instagram, but any designer that you've knit from or whose patterns you've really enjoyed knitting, I would love to know that. Or just whatever your 2024 plans are, that would be fun to know as well. Is there a word you're focusing on? Is there a theme you're focusing on? I'm interested. If it's knitting or crafting related, I'm interested. So yeah, that was basically my list, and I feel like I just spoke at the speed of light, and just basically narrated the entire list of designers. But I hope that wasn't too odd or boring for you. Otherwise, everything has been going pretty well. We are actually going to India end of January. So now that the holidays I'm in the middle of my holidays, so I'm not like thinking about when they'll be over or anything. I'm enjoying them thoroughly. But once they'll be done, I will be focusing on trip to India. And the first thing I have to do now, basically, before I go to India, is finish the quilt I started for my nephew. So that is another crafting thing that I have to kind of get done. I had started a quilt for my nephew when he was born. Now he's 3 years old. I haven't finished the quilt, but I mean, it never worked out. We were never flying into the city where my brother-in-law and sister-in-law live. But this time we will be, so I think I have the perfect opportunity to finish the quilt and actually gift it. Okay, there's no point talking about the quilt without actually showing it to you, right? So here's the quilt. It's just fun fabrics for a little boy. They're animals and dinosaurs and pandas and owls in bright colors. I love the bright colors. And I didn't use any sort of pattern. I just like cut blocks of them and then like sewed them together. And that's the back of the quilt. I have already done a few quilting lines on it. I'm just doing presser foot quilting and in straight lines. I'm not doing any free motion quilting. I think you can see it better here. I did a bit of that. But I still have to add more quilt lines and then of course do the border and everything. So it's not in a very, like, I'm halfway through, I would say, more than halfway through. So yeah, this is the next crafty project that I have to get done, and I'm super excited that I'll finally get to finish it and give it to him. And it's kind of nice giving it to him when he's 3 years old. I'll be able to actually gauge a reaction than if he was a newborn. It's more of his parents' reactions that you have to gauge, but he's a really sweet child and I'm so excited to see him and to meet my brother-in-law, sister-in-law. We are attending a wedding as well, so I'm all excited about that. But yeah, that is what's next for me crafting wise. I think that's pretty much everything I have for today. I feel like this episode was very haphazard and rushed, but that was not my intention. I feel like that's the energy I have today, so we'll just go with the flow. Thank you so much for checking out my video. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season and that you have some time to celebrate whatever festival that you celebrate with your family and friends, and take some a little bit of rest before the year begins, next year begins. Being this being the last episode of the year for me, I want to wish you a very happy 2024. I will definitely see you in the new year with a 2023 wrap-up video as promised. Thank you so much for being so supportive. I have thoroughly enjoyed interacting with this community during this year and the past years, of course. But thank you so much for everything. Thank you so much for the love and encouragement you always shower me with. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye.